Good afternoon and welcome live to the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Here from Fort Lee High School, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk, bringing you Fort Lee girls basketball this afternoon, taking on the Dwight Morrow Maroon Raiders. Fort Lee at 12-2 at the top of the Big North American Division at 3-0. Dwight Morrow winless 0-10, 0-3 in the Big North. Fort Lee pushed by two terrific transfer guards, including Janelle Lewis, a senior in her first year in the program, 3 years at Snyder High School in Jersey City. She comes off of a career-high 41 points, 7 made threes yesterday in a lopsided win over Memorial yesterday on MLK Day, 68-26, as Fort Lee has put together a 12-game winning streak, looking to extend it today. She's joined by Layla Jones, averaging nearly 13 points per game, and senior Ellis Avazoglu at 5'7" joins her, along with Sophia Pagan at 5'6", and 5'5" Catalina Gill in the starting lineup. Fort Lee in the white-on-white underway. The Maroon Raiders maroon on maroon as Catalina Gill misses the first shot, and the rebound here to Sabria Maxwell. A 4-year starting senior takes it all the way and missed the shot there, with the rebound controlled here by Janelle Lewis. And the starting point guard as she takes it all the way to the basket and missed the shot there. Settled for Layla Jones, who knocks down the three. Layla yesterday went for 12 points, including 2 made threes, 6 steals, as Fort Lee turned over Memorial High School yesterday at an incredible rate. And that's the concern today for fifth-year coach Milton McManus at a William Patterson College. Freshman year at Delaware State. He's been a coaching veteran now, trying to build up Dwight Morrow, who went just 1-22 last year, 1-7 in the shortened season, as that shot misses by Sanaya Rain Fowler. Go through the starters momentarily. Is on the drive. We get a whistle, and Catalina Gill picks up a foul. Sabria Maxwell is the senior 4-year starting point guard. 5'4" freshman guard Sanaya Rain Fowler is a raw talent that we'll watch often. 5'7" Jordan Brown will stay in the middle of the zone. She's a transfer from Ridgefield Park 2 years ago. Sorrell Parrington, 5'4" junior guard, and then Carrie Perry, who is a good-looking 5'7" sophomore raw, but they're very excited about her potential. Missing the shot inside Sophia Pagan, and it'll stay here with Fort Lee. Dwight Morrow has played 3 pretty competitive games out of their 10 losses, as the 3 is off from the deep corner there by Janelle Lewis. And with the rebound here to Sabria Maxwell. Against the zone, Jordan Brown airballs the 3. Wild shot and off the glass. On the push is Lewis. Good bounce pass up ahead, and Layla Jones has the first 5 points. Layla grew up in the Dwight Englewood section, and when she was in middle school, she was coached by Dwight Morrow head coach Milton McManus, and they still have a great relationship and a great hug before the game between the two. Maxwell all the way to the basket and gets that to fall. So Sabria Maxwell with the first bucket for Dwight Morrow. They're averaging only about 23 points per game. Open look at a 3 against the zone. That's knocked down. Layla Jones has 8 in just over 2 minutes. All 8 for Fort Lee. And she exploded in her first game with the Bridgemen in an opening night loss in December against a very good Tenafly team with a career-high 20 with 3 made threes. And already has 2 here. Parrington way off that shot against the Fort Lee zone. Fort Lee coached by Kelly Lane Rodriguez in her first season, taking over for Coach William Straub, where Fort Lee last year finished 5-3 in the Big North American, as that 3 is off from Janelle Lewis. And the rebound out of bounds will go back to Dwight Morrow. And this year at 3-0, and Fort Lee has already defeated their chief competition right now in the Big North American, Ridgefield Park. That came on January 5th, 2 weeks ago, 46-34 in a key game for Coach Kelly Lane. In the short corner zone look, Jordan Brown tried to go up top for Maxwell. Maxwell will pull up long range 2 short, and the rebound down to Catalina Gill. Leak out here for Fort Lee, where they've been so explosive, and 1 for Janelle Lewis. Her first basket 24 hours after going for a career-high 41 yesterday. also with 7 rebounds, almost coming up with what was considered perhaps the first triple-double that Fort Lee has ever had in girls basketball, near triple-double. 41 with the 11 steals for the second time this season. As she misses the free throw, but it comes back out to Janelle after the tip. Dwight Morrow mainly playing man-to-man. They've been trying to press more. Here's a deep-looking three, and that's good. Layla Jones has 11 of the 13 for the Lady Bridgemen. Jones has had her feet set 3 years at Bergenfield before moving here to this district in Fort Lee. Maxwell, short on a good-looking three. And it'll be Fort Lee possession. Fort Lee has been able to jump on a lot of their teams with lopsided scores early going. There's another three knocked down. That's Janelle Lewis from straight up top. 4 threes in the opening quarter for Fort Lee on their home floor. Maxwell splits the 2-3 zone, got into the paint, wild shot. Janelle Lewis on the push. She'll take another three and nail that. And Fort Lee, 4.5 minutes in, has knocked down 5 from beyond the arc. And a 19-2 start here. And none of these have been what you might call forces. They've been good in-rhythm shots. And there's a good deflection by Catalina Gill. With the loose ball going down to the splits was Carrie Perry. Up ahead, good find inside. Ellis Avazoglu with the basket. She got it from Janelle Lewis. So at 21-2, and Fort Lee has picked up where they left off yesterday against Memorial. Two-three zone look will remain. Skip up top. Maxwell. Rain Fowler. Sabria Maxwell, the primary ball handler, played 1 year of AAU basketball. She has the most travel basketball experience on the Dwight Morrow program. There's a corner three. That's off. Decent look for Jordan Brown. And now on the push, Layla Jones. Jones weaves her way through and knocks down another. Layla Jones playing with unquestionable confidence here with 13 in the opening quarter. So she has matched her season average. Yesterday she went for 12 points, 6 steals, 4 assists. Quick trigger three, that's off from Sorrell Parrington. And the long rebound again, Lewis racing ahead, Jones, and that's her easiest bucket so far. Lewis with her second dish. Fort Lee averaging 61 points per game. Their high water mark came last week in a win, scoring 73 at North Bergen. And that could be in jeopardy today. A contested three put up by Perry, partially blocked. And Layla Jones on the handle. Now in the middle of the zone, Avazoglu, and Ellis loses it out of bounds. Well, the two seniors, Jones and Lewis, being added during the season for Kelly Lane. She had nice expectations as it was anyway, based on the 4 years on the varsity from Catalina Gill, Sophia Pagan, and Ellis Avazoglu in the program. And a couple of young juniors. We'll see Olivia Hausman at some opportunity as Hausman has actually come in for the first time. This loose ball is eventually going to be gathered. Avazoglu, Hausman has the layup. Olivia Hausman, 3rd year in the varsity. Known for her outside shooting. She's put in a lot more time on that. And Hausman, along with the 2 freshmen that Kelly has seen coming up through the middle school, Ileana James and Jackie Martinez. There's Hausman with the steal. Numbers for the Bridgemen. Lefty layup goes Catalina Gill. Her first bucket And Fort Lee cannot miss in this opening quarter. And there's only been perhaps a couple of what you'd call easy shots. Even that on the move was not necessarily a super high percentage shot in girls basketball, as Maxwell's turnaround jumper is off. They'll say partially blocked by Fort Lee with 1.7 on the clock. As Dwight Morrow gets it in, and Maxwell won't be able to get a shot off. 29-2, impressively by Fort Lee, a team that has its sights set on sewing up the big North American division. 29-2, end of one on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Five made threes in the opening quarter by Fort Lee is among the stories. And for Kelly Lane Rodriguez, she has seen some big offensive runs, but perhaps not yet like this season. Ralph Bednarczyk back with you. Producer and director Dimitri Nanos. Layla Jones, 15 points. Janelle Lewis with 8. Jones with the 15 points, also with 3 made threes. And Lewis has spearheaded the transition game. That shot, that partially blocked three, is going to be corralled by Roxanne Perez on the floor for the first time as well for Fort Lee. Perez made the catch from the high-low. Nicely done. Ileana James found her. And good execution there. And James getting some second quarter action. James does play AAU basketball, and you could see the knowledge of feeding against the zone in the high post. Well executed. Maxwell again trying to split the top of the 2-3. Short corner shot, that's off from Andre DeGabriel, a sophomore guard, for Dwight Morrow. Maroon Raiders only have 7 players in uniform again, and they've also had personal issues that have precluded the team that had 9 scheduled returners back. 4 of them, unfortunately, are away from the program right now, and perhaps the hope for Milton McManus is they will see a couple more of them back, as there is Ileana James able to put that and go. So Fort Lee continues to shoot an incredible percentage. That's a shot in traffic. They've made their layups in addition to the great percentage from 3. And Dwight Morrow has run into a buzzsaw today. And that's out of bounds, and that'll be a Dwight Morrow turnover. I'd say the good news, Milton McManus can consider, he was very concerned coming in, facing the high-level pressure and the press that Fort Lee can put you under. But turnovers from that perspective, leading to easy layups, have not necessarily been the thing, particularly in the backcourt. Maxwell forces up a shot over Perez. Good defense again. Roxanne Perez walling straight up not to foul. Also, Jackie Martinez into the game for the first time. A freshman backup guard. Active hands by Rain Fowler. James, and that's off the front rim, no. Rebound tracked down by Hausman. Also, Paula Pestic is on for the first time, junior guard as well. So right now, Hausman is the lone regular in the rotation for Fort Lee coach Kelly Lane. James out to Hausman. Good look, short on the three. And could not come up with the offensive rebound. Rain Fowler has it. No shot clock in the state of New Jersey. Maxwell took it over Perez. Could not get that to fall. Good offensive rebound pulled out by Rain Fowler. Out to Maxwell. Or rather, the rebound pulled out by Parrington. And a third opportunity for Dwight Morrow. And a good look at a deep three. That'll be a two. Long-range two for Jordan Brown. And she's considered Dwight Morrow's best shooter. Has been playing with more confidence. James, good ball movement against the zone again by Fort Lee. Perez, Pestic. And Pestic did not have her feet under her. And Dwight Morrow will go to the bench. For Dwight Morrow, you have to go back to the last time they had 3 league wins to 2016. They went 10-17 that year. 2015, 10-15 overall. Both seasons 3-5 in the Big North American. And otherwise, they have been saddled with usually just 1 league win all the years since. Maxwell turns, will get that to fall, and one. Took it into the body of Roxanne Perez, and Sabria Maxwell will shoot the free throw. And Maxwell's confidence has grown so much the way Milton McManus described it. And he hopes it's going to be long-lasting confidence for her in life because she's had so much on her plate this year. Maxwell with 5 of the 7 points for Dwight Morrow. Pestic. Hausman got a great look and nails the three. Well, that is Olivia Hausman's game. Put in a ton of time on her outside shot ahead of this year. Basketball only, and it shows there in the form. 6th made 3 for Fort Lee. That's a well short 3 by Sanaya Rain Fowler. James, again the high-low. Perez sets and scores. Just more good basketball between the backup posts for Fort Lee. And Ileana James showing how well-polished she is at this stage. Maxwell for 3. And rebound to Hausman with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Jackie Martinez will run the point. Pestic off-ball reversal and well short there. And both times Paula was not able to get good lift on the shot. Maxwell will take the uncontested 3 and nail that. So Sabria Maxwell without hesitation. First made 3 for Dwight Morrow. Well, in this rebuilding situation for Dwight Morrow, Milton McManus has spent a lot of time on defense. As there's Ileana James missing the shot. With DeGabriel rebounding. He wants all of his guards to rebound. Maxwell all the way. Tough take again from Sabria Maxwell. But his team, he's been happy that the team never quits. They have shown progress and something he can build off of. He's got 4 7th graders in the district that he's very excited about. Hausman, another knockdown. That's a long 2 for Olivia. We get an official's timeout. 8 points for Olivia Hausman. And that'll allow Fort Lee to sub as Pestic comes off. And freshman Jamie West will come in for the first time for Fort Lee. So Fort Lee after scoring 68 points yesterday against Memorial out of Jersey City, as that's a missed three by Sorrell Parrington. And they are en route to a season-high effort. James, nice turnaround, beautifully done. Now, Ileana James has shined here in this first half, really since coming on here second quarter, with her play from the high post. And for a freshman, you can't understate how difficult that is against the 2-3 zone to excel in that spot, as Maxwell misses that floater. To not panic when crowded around the foul line area, not travel. There's James again. And then just make the simple play down low into the high-low for Roxanne. James dribbled it through traffic, and that's been her first mistake here. We'll get a tie-up, and the Arrow will keep it with Fort Lee. James pivots. Houseman cut off on the baseline. And good ball movement again from Fort Lee, and then we'll get the travel. Jamie West with 19.5 seconds left. And Dwight Morrow for the final shot of this first half. 2 games ago at Indian Hills, it's been a respectable program across most athletics. It was just a 6-point loss for Dwight Morrow, their closest game of the season. Maxwell short before the buzzer. 42-12 at halftime. Fort Lee scored 29 of those in the opening quarter. And they've got another massive lead on their home floor. Layla Jones, Janelle Lewis did not play in the second quarter, 15 points and 8 respectively. Olivia Hausman with 8 points, already among her top performances of the year. 42-12 at the half. We'll take timeout for 6 minutes on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Start of the third quarter here at Fort Lee High School, the home of the Bridgemen. Ralph Bednarczyk on hand, 42-12. Fort Lee trying to make it 13 straight wins and move to 4-0 in the Big North American. These two teams will meet up at Dwight Morrow on February 9th. A 29-2 opening quarter, and Fort Lee shot an incredible percentage, including 5 first-quarter threes. They've made 6 for the game. The first unit, while in there, did all the damage. Layla Jones, the high player, with 15. 3 threes, Janelle Lewis, 8 points, including 2 threes. And for Kelly Lane, a lopsided score like this, particularly in the second of a back-to-back, as that's a 3 short by Sorrell Parrington. And the rebound down to Fort Lee. As into the game for the first time. Also seeing JV minutes, Olivia Kim. Ileana James down low for Roxanne Perez. And it'll be turned over in the first possession for Fort Lee. So good of Kelly Lane to keep her starters out of there with the score being what it is, and she'll get her second unit and freshman a greater opportunity. It's not a deep Fort Lee team in terms of roster numbers. In terms of upperclassmen, there's only really 7 upperclassmen, and then everybody else would be freshmen and JV players. Here's Sabria Maxwell on the pull-up. Not there, rebound, and it'll be over the back called against Fort Lee's Olivia Kim. On a good, strong rebound inside for Sorrell Parrington on the glass for Dwight Morrow. Olivia Hausman also chipped in 8. Her season and career high was 11 points. Also has a 10-point game and a win at Dumont. Dwight Morrow stays in the zone look. And again, good ball movement without much dribbling. Missed shot by James. Had her shot blocked, got it back. Kim. And a good job not forcing there by Kim. And can't say it enough how good Fort Lee has looked against the zone today in terms of decision making. Kim tried to feed inside for Perez, and Perez lost it. Kelly Lane was an undersized post player during her time at Ramapo, playing in the NJAC. For Coach Mike there. An in-rhythm 3 by Perry is off. One made 3 in the opening half for Dwight Morrow. James. Then outside 3, and that's drilled. Jamie West, 7th made 3 for Fort Lee. West almost came up with the steal. Fort Lee remains in their 2-3 zone. Wild shot, good contest there by Olivia Kim to contest the 3 by Maxwell off the wing. And a good job of contesting without fouling. And then that is West just not in position at the 3-point arc against the 2-3 zone. So a couple turnovers here by the Bridgemen. Second quarter score was only 13-10 Fort Lee, with the second unit being in there against the typical starters of Dwight Morrow. Dwight Morrow, again, with only 7 players right now on the varsity roster. Jordan Brown. Brown has nailed a long-range shot that was short of a 3. And this rebound comes down to Ileana James. Kim, baseline shot short. And the bigger picture for Fort Lee, they'll be able to get at least a day off. It's a very jam-packed January, as it always is in New Jersey, as the 3 short by Sanaya Rain Fowler. Fowler is going to play AAU basketball for the first time this summer. Also a member of the band. James, not a good pass inside looking for Roxanne Perez. Needed a little bit more loft, and Perez did well to show the target hand. But after Thursday night's game at Pascack Hills right now is just 2-9. And I think Kelly Lane will be happy to see a welcome little bit of a break for her team as that 3 is off. They'll get a couple days off before playing just one game on the 24th and then the next game on the 31st. So it's a real opportunity just to practice rather than just worrying about game prep. West, a deep 3, nailed that! Jamie West with a couple threes in this third quarter. That was the deepest one of this game. A good yard behind the arc. Inside Maxwell, and could not get that contested runner. So for Jamie West, she has set a new career high with 6 points, including 2 threes. She had come in with just 1 made 3 so far in limited action. As there's a takeaway, Maxwell. Maxwell with a take it the distance, could not finish. Good steal by Sabria Maxwell. In middle school, Sabria Maxwell was on the same team as Fort Lee's Layla Jones. And when you ask Milton McManus about that, coach of Dwight Morrow, it's kind of the typical what if, what could have been. James cut off on the baseline. West, a good job not to force. Pestic still looking for a first. James on the follow and gets that to fall. So James with 6, just 2 shy off of her season and career high, where she had scored 8 points in a blowout win over Hawthorne, 71-19 on Saturday. And this game shaping up to be that kind of score and then some. Brown went outside for Parrington, and Parrington forced up the 3. Sorrel Parrington was a varsity cheerleader last fall. And in the fall of 21, Milton McManus saw her shooting around one day ahead of a varsity boys basketball game at Dwight Morrow. Got her to play basketball last year. And she has been needed. Parrington finally scored her first hoop last game. There's a jumper that's knocked down. Jackie Martinez with her first bucket. And there's a 3 made by Maxwell up top. Sabria Maxwell with her second 3, 13 of the 15 points for Dwight Morrow. Final seconds, third quarter. James could not get a shot off. So 52-15 for Fort Lee, as they win that quarter 10-3, and they're in complete control. We'll see how they sew up their 13th win of the season when we come back on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Start of the fourth quarter here from Fort Lee High School. All Bridgemen today. And the question is, how will the second unit play here for this fourth quarter? And Kelly Lane, with good sign of sportsmanship, has rested her starters after the first 8 minutes. Offensive rebound, James missed the follow, got it back. West, good ball reversal. And a reset here. And a good patient one, James. And then James had it ripped away. Good job there by Carrie Perry to come up with the takeaway for Dwight Morrow. Perry is a 5'7" sophomore and another raw talent the way Milton McManus describes her. And this is Perry's first year playing organized basketball as Maxwell off on the deep three. And Perry at 5'7", defense has become her early strong suit. James crowded in the high post. So Olivia Kim now playing the 5 spot for Fort Lee as West forced that shot up. As that three short by Javine Joseph, 5'8" junior. Just coming back from illness. And this is only her second game of the season for Joseph, so she gets some late time here. Kim outside, and there is another long-range shot. That's going to be a 2 for Jackie Martinez. Maxwell. And missed the shot there. Along with the 8 made threes by Fort Lee, they've also hit a handful of long-range jumpers against the zone. West, and again, more good ball movement. Kim, power dribble over Maxwell, gets that to fall. Olivia Kim becomes the 10th different Bridgeman player to score in this game. And Kim came in with just 3 total points on the year. Maxwell off the spin dribble. That one rimmed out for her. Rebound chased down. Perry, and eventually squirts free, and Fort Lee has it. Fort Lee led 29-2 at the end of one with their starters in there. 5 seniors that Kelly Lane Rodriguez can start, as there's the pass off the hands of Paula Pestic and turned over. Maxwell, and rare pass with her feet set, missed the 3, but Pestic loses the rebound. Perrington back in for Dwight Morrow. As Dwight Morrow immediately turns over. And with her feet set, Pestic misses the jumper. And Fort Lee would love to get her a basket. And there, Maxwell trying to dribble through traffic, and she picks up a foul. Right now in the Big North American Division, Fort Lee at 3-0, Ridgefield Park 3-1. That loss, of course, to the Bridgemen, as Maxwell with a good take to the rim. 15 for Sabria Maxwell. And while the stats are incomplete on NJ.com, she has had some notable performances. And as you can see here, she has to do a ton for her very raw team around her. Ball saved on the end line, and Fort Lee continues the possession. Sabria, 4 years on the varsity. This year she has a 24-point game at Bergenfield and a loss. There's Olivia Kim. Another long range 2, a jump shot. And new career high 4 for Olivia. Jordan Brown steps back and she rains a three. 5 points for Jordan Brown. Both of her shots have been long-range jumpers. And Sabria Maxwell, out of her 24-point game out of the 30 that Dwight Morrow scored in their loss at Bergenfield, she made 10 of 14 from the free throw line. And there is a steal. Perry, and Perry trying to get the timeout. Milton McManus called for it, and he gets it. And Perry is excited, and there's an example of Carrie Perry's athleticism being all over the court. 58-20. And Milton McManus so on point, describing that she just doesn't know how to slow down. Will be all over the floor, and be very interested to see what Carrie Perry looks like a year from now, adding some more basic basketball skills to translate all the chaos that she can cause opponents. Fort Lee with 2:38 left. Notably, their schedule at the end of the season, end of the regular season, has their toughest games. There will be a trip to Kelly Lane's alma mater, Ridgefield Park, coming up January 31st. But then they'll host Ramsey, who is 7-4, playing in the Big North Patriot Division. And then they'll be at 7-5 Pascack Valley. Maxwell, baseline of the bounce, missed the shot there. And then they'll be at Pascack Valley. Legendary coach Jeff Jasper, building Pascack Valley into an outstanding program in Bergen County. Amazingly, Jeff Jasper is the only head coach in Pascack Valley girls basketball history. He is coaching this year in his and the team's 50th season. A three short by Parrington. And that'll be the regular season finale, February 16th for Fort Lee. Pascack Valley is 7-5, but they always have a huge roster and are always very well coached. Good overplay there. Jordan Brown with the steal. Good anticipation from Brown with 1:35 left. And that's the area of greatest time in practice that as we get a foul on the floor, no shot. As Milton McManus has talked about, that we have speed, they're pressing, and they have spent the greater majority of their time on the defensive end, teaching concepts, something to build off of, and allow them to have a chance to stay in games just by doing the basics and being in the right place defensively. And then with experience, build on that, and some offense can come along. For Lee's two losses, Tenafly is 10-2 out of the Big North National. Westwood 9-4 out of the Patriot League. And both losses very competitive. And Kelly Lane hopes that those lessons of particularly rebounding the ball better defensively have carried over ahead of those big games coming up in mid-February against Ramsey, Pascack Valley, and then the road game at Ridgefield Park. Maxwell takes it to the rim and scores again, has 17. Fort Lee won't bother with a shot. It won't be a season high in points, but Fort Lee puts together a super opening quarter where they led 29-2 at the end of one, and they protect this house in a big way. (58-22) is the final. Fort Lee makes it 13 straight wins, 4-0 in the Big North American. Layla Jones let it rain in the opening quarter with 15 points. Did not play the final three. Three made threes. Janelle Lewis, 8 points in the opening 8 minutes. Olivia Hausman, a strong performance, 8 points in the opening half. Then the freshman, Layla James with 6. Jamie West, a couple of knockdown threes, a career high for her. And a career high 4 points also for Olivia Kim playing in that fourth quarter. 58-22 is our final score. Dwight Morrow falls to 0-11, 0-4 in the Big North American. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. A reminder, you can watch these games that are archived also via the Fort Lee YouTube Athletics channel. For all of us here, my name is Ralph Bednarczyk saying so long and goodbye for our producer and coordinator, Dimitri Nanis, athletic director, Mr. Michael Rafferty, and our camera person, the great and always consistent Renee Matisich. My name is Ralph Bednarczyk saying so long and goodbye until next time from Fort Lee.